What's going on, everybody? It's Sasha, your market expert here in Charlotte. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel, where today we're going to be talking about one of my absolute favorite areas, neighborhoods in Charlotte, and that is none other than Cotswold. So Cotswold actually ranked as the 49th best neighborhood to raise a family in Charlotte, the 50th best neighborhood for young professionals in Charlotte, and the best neighborhood to live in Charlotte came in at 64th place out of 163. Now, I'll be honest with you, that number, that last one, does not make any sense to me whatsoever. For it to rank 64th of the best places to live in Charlotte, I do not agree with. I personally would put Cotswold at probably in the top 20 best areas to live if we're just talking about Charlotte. Now, I have a lot of great areas that I personally love. When it comes to neighborhoods, I have, not a top 10, not a top 20. When it comes to neighborhoods, I probably have a top 50. But Cotswold is one of those places that has always been a little bit special to me. When I was looking to buy my first home, I was looking for a condo or a townhouse. This was just over 6 years ago, so I was 24 years old at the time. And like any 24-year-old, I was looking at Uptown, I was looking at South End, I was looking at Dilworth, I was looking at Myers Park, South Park, and I just kept getting priced out. I couldn't afford to live there. And finally, I started seeing some townhouses pop up in Cotswold that were in my price range, but unfortunately, I wasn't in real estate at the time. And after submitting 2 to 3 offers and being outbid on those offers in Cotswold, my heart just couldn't take it anymore. So now I'm right around Matthews. I'm on the border of Matthews and Charlotte. So I'm roughly about a 10 to 15 minute drive away from Cotswold. But I promise you, I will be back in Cotswold, whether that's for my primary residence and or a future investment property. But I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about this area so you could potentially consider it as an area you'd potentially like to move to if you're coming to the Charlotte area. Cotswold, where is it located? So Cotswold is just northeast of South Park Mall. So as far as location goes, you're very much centrally located. You're a 10 to 15 minute drive to Center City, Uptown Charlotte. You're a 20 to 25 minute drive to the airport. And honestly, usually I'll give you an estimate of how close you are to South Park when I'm talking about some other suburban areas outside of the city. To be honest, if you're in Cotswold, you won't be doing a lot of driving. You'll have to drive, but your driving will be 5 minutes or less. And I'm talking about grocery stores, restaurants, bars, a ton of stuff, not to mention parks and things like that. But since we're so close to South Park, it is a 5 to 10 minute drive directly to South Park Mall. You literally just go on Sharon Road, which is a main road, and it's a straight shot to the mall. So as far as commuting wise goes, it's very centrally located. Now, if you happen to be working somewhere, maybe on the 485, which is our loop highway, if you're working somewhere around there, Cotswold might not be a good option for you. Now, the reason being is Cotswold has a very suburban, dense feel. When you're in some of these neighborhoods, you will be astounded at some of the houses and neighborhoods that you will see. They're absolutely gorgeous. And one of my favorite things about Charlotte in general is you can be in a neighborhood that's super close to Uptown, super close to all kind of the hustle and bustle of the city. But when you're in that neighborhood, you just feel like you're in your own little bubble. And once you get outside of the neighborhood, that's where all the hustle and bustle starts. So for those people that do not like traffic, you're somebody that commutes a lot for work, Cotswold might not be the best option because it has so many main roads, because it's centrally located. It's a busy area. A lot of people complain about the traffic in this area, just like they do traffic in Uptown during peak hours, in South End, in Dilworth, South Park, and in Ballantyne, for example. So you are going to get that traffic. In fact, there's literally just an article that I'm going to show you right here talking about how crazy the traffic is, because at Cotswold Village, which is where your grocery store is. You have your Harris Teeter, you have your Publix, you got your Starbucks, you got your Chick-fil-A, a Smash Burger that just recently opened up there, which is great. But the article is basically saying that they're having to tear down this Chick-fil-A and redo the way their drive-thru is to make it more efficient, because the traffic, Chick-fil-A is Chick-fil-A. There's always traffic there. And when it's in a place like Cotswold, the traffic spills out into the main roads, which causes more congestion and more traffic. Now, listen, I know I've kind of harped on the traffic and things like that, but it's an area you should definitely consider. And if you're somebody that works remote, or maybe you have a hybrid system where you don't have to drive to Uptown, you don't have to drive to South Park and or Ballantyne during peak hours, something like this would be great. Right now, it's roughly just after noon, and if I was to drive to Cotswold, I'd run into absolutely no traffic. During high traffic times, you know, between 4 and 7, and in the morning, that's when you're going to get that traffic. Let's get into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty of the area. So what does the area kind of provide? So when you're looking at, and what I like to use niche.com, but to be honest with you, these last 2 years with everything going on in the real estate market, a lot of these websites that you're going to be looking at don't have the most accurate information, but that's why you're subscribed to this channel, and that's why you can always call, text, or email me anytime to get more information. We're going to go over this right now. So Cotswold, the median age, I would say, is between 30 and 40. And once you start seeing some of the prices of these homes, you're going to realize that some of these multi-million-dollar properties, there's going to be 40-plus-year-olds living there. But it's a very vibrant area and all-around great area. So as far as the overall score that niche.com gave them, public schools, they get an A. Housing, they get a B-. I would say housing, they're getting a B- due to the potential prices. Good for families, an A. Nightlife, an A. And diversity, an A. I agree with a lot of the stuff that's kind of going on here, especially in regards to public schools, good for family, nightlife. It's very vibrant, and also diversity. You have a lot of young professionals moving in this area because, like I said, if you're priced out of South Park, Myers Park, Uptown, Dilworth, South End, Cotswold is a great area to look into. And even the surrounding areas such as Montclair, Starmount, Oakhurst, for example, if Cotswold's a little bit too pricey. In regards to prices, do not get scared. We're going through a lot of changes now, and these prices will be adjusting. So if you have further interest, or if you want to talk to me about pricing and things like that, always feel free to do so. All my contact information is right here. So in regards to pricing, now keep in mind, this is a highly desirable area with all the things that I had mentioned, minus some of the congestion that happens. But as far as the real estate prices goes, the median price point for a single family home in the Cotswold area is $972,000. As far as the average sales price in the Cotswold area, it is $1.159 million. So $1,150,000 as far as the median price goes. Now, as far as condos and townhomes, for a condo or a townhome, the median price point is going to be $326,000, and the average price point is going to be around $510,000. Now, listen, this might scare you. Heather and Josh, if you're watching this, hi. I recently helped Heather and Josh find a home in the Cotswold area, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, just under 1,800 square feet in that $600,000 price point as a single family home. So yes, these prices are high as far as the averages and the medians goes, but the reason we have that is because there's a good amount of multi-million-dollar properties in the Cotswold area that bring up the remainder of the lesser expensive homes that are in the area. So always keep in mind, there's a ton of options for you. If you're a young professional wanting to be in this area, a condo or a townhome is a great consideration, and you should definitely consider it. Now, as you would expect, due to these prices, due to its great location, you're obviously going to get some other amazing perks that go with that, which is going to include schools. This area has some of the best public schools, and of course you have some of the best private schools. So if schools is something that's very important to you, this is an area you should definitely consider moving forward. Now that we got some of that out of the way, if you should have any other questions, reach out to me. But I want to read you a couple reviews that were left on niche.com that I think are going to be a little bit helpful for you. So this is a review that was left in 2020 in regards to Cotswold. Everything is convenient by car, schools, shopping, businesses, all nearby. Uptown Charlotte is a quick drive for great restaurants, cultural events, and arts, with a lot of theaters in the area, lots of parks as well. Downside is there's always construction somewhere, which can make navigation annoying. I appreciate resurfacing of the roads, but don't think it should take 3 months. Bike lanes would be a huge plus to make it more friendly to navigate the area. This review is great. It's super honest, and I 100% agree with it. You have a lot of things going for it. The resurfacing of the roads, your tax money is going somewhere, which is good. So they're making the roads nice and clean and no potholes. So you don't have to worry about getting a flat tire or bending your rim. And bike lanes, 100%. It would be a lot nicer to have bike lanes in this area. But with all the congestion, I wouldn't know about safety as far as those kind of bike lanes goes. So another review that I want to quickly read to you. I am very happy with the Cotswold area. We're in the Myers Park school zone, which is the high school I wanted for my children. We're close enough to the city if we want to do something, but far enough that it's quiet and peaceful in our neighborhood. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there's so many neighborhoods, not just Cotswold, but in and around Charlotte, where you're so close to everything. You're so close, you're in the mix of everything. But once you're in some of these neighborhoods, you feel like you're in your own little bubble and you feel isolated. But as soon as you get outside of the neighborhood, you have everything you need. One last review, very good neighborhood with nice people who are great neighbors, lots of fun, kids too, many delicious nearby restaurants and places to work. Would not change anything because it's awesome. I agree with a lot of this. Guys, call, text, email me anytime. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.